Welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and this is the Tea with Spirit show. Go ahead and get your tea kettles ready, get your teapots, your teacups, get the tea bags ready, the honey, the lemon, and sit back and just relax and go ahead and listen to the tea from Spirit. So in this week's episode, this is episode 7. If you haven't caught up with the other episodes, go ahead and check them out. There's 6 other episodes in addition to this one that have been published on my channel. If you go to my playlist section, you can see that there is a playlist specifically titled Tea with Spirit. And to give you an overview, those of you that are listening for the very first time to the show, basically this is being compared to the psychic version of Dear Abby, in which I have clients all over the world that submit one question, and if their question is selected and read over the air, then Spirit will give the tea to them, and basically I'm giving them spiritual advice, psychic insight, and using my mediumship abilities as well. So if you have a pressing question that you would like to get answered, you can always submit that to raymondguzman@hotmail.com. On the subject line of your email, put Tea with Spirit, and in the body of your email, ask a specific question and be sure to include an alias. Because if your question is selected during the show to be read on air, I am going to want to use your alias and not your real name for confidentiality purposes. So that being said and done, let's get into the first question this week. This is coming from Lucy, and she says, my question is, why do I keep having bad luck in my all-around life? I can be good one day and a week later something happens, and it happens in any of these things like love, financial, work, and even material things like losing or just things breaking. Is there something I'm doing wrong in my life that keeps on happening? And again, this is coming from my listener and viewer, Lucy. So thank you so much, Lucy, for submitting that question. This is a very, very good question. You know, there's a lot of people that could probably be relating to this that are listening to the show as well. So when I tune into Spirit, what Spirit is saying, the tea that they're wanting to give you is that things are going to be changing for you. But right now, your life is going through almost like a makeover in many areas. And the reason that you've been finding it so difficult is because a part of you is resisting change. There's something for a long time. So I wouldn't even be surprised if you've been seeing repetitive synchronicities like angel numbers appearing like 1111, 222, 333. You could have been seeing this for quite some time. You may have also had the inkling or the innate feeling or knowingness that there is some changes that you need to make in your life. But when I tune into your soul and spirit, what I'm getting is that there's a lot of resistance, a lot of fear that you have created. This is more self-created than anything. So it's not the universe really punishing you, but it's almost in a sense, sometimes we punish ourselves or we don't feel like we're worthy. When it comes to your self-confidence, I just don't see it right now. And I feel like, you know, we all have, you know, our hardships that we go through, but in some ways you feel like the universe or God, you know, has punished you in many ways, and that's not the case. A lot of times our life challenges are to only strengthen us and make us a stronger person. And I get with you is that you're too fixated or too focused on all the problems and not on your blessings. So there needs to be a shift in mentality. You need to go ahead and start looking and being grateful every day for the tiniest things, you know, for waking up, and having life. You know, that's the most important thing. If you have a place to stay, like shelter, that's another blessing and thankfulness that you need to, you know, have in your heart and soul. And it's when we start tuning into our blessings that we start to see a lot of things in our life accelerate and really fix on themselves, because it goes back to the laws of attraction. You know, what we put out or what we think is going to, you know, naturally gravitate things towards us, whether this is our people, places, money, material objects, things like that, of that nature. With you, I do get that there's been a lot of problems in your love life in specific. I see 2 males, and I see a lot of, you know, going back and forth. So I feel like there may have been 2 people in your life, 2 key figures, males, of course, fighting, you know, fighting one another, fighting to be with you, and you maybe just like not wanting, because I see a lot of fighting going on, a lot of resistance, a lot of you not being sure, you want to not give up on someone. It feels like you know that there's this male that is very painful. Out of these two males, there's one male in particular. He has darker hair, short darker hair, and also some facial hair. He's kind of tall, thin. But what I get from that male is that he has a lot of problems, a lot of lies, a lot of deception, and almost like he takes from you, or he has taken from you in the past. And so this is kind of like created an energetic cord that you haven't been able to cut. So Spirit is saying that you have a lot of attachments to you from these males on a spiritual level. You need to cut those cords, and the way that you can cut those cords is several ways. You can write a letter. Like I call it a petition, and basically what it is, like something, I, Lucy, renounce all, and sever all spiritual connections to any past men's, and you can, or past males, in my life. You can write their names down, and then when you're done, you can word it however you want. You can burn that paper and just throw the ashes outside. It's like releasing that into the universe. Also, a part of you needs to like not look at their social media. Don't even think about them, because I get a lot of obsessiveness to a certain point where you may be thinking of these people, even though they may not be in your life anymore. There is still some cords there that are drawing you in. So again, I do feel like in your love life, it's very complicated. This is the main area that Spirit wants me to focus on, and then I'm going to get into the other areas. But what I'm being shown is that once you cut these unhealthy connections to these two males, because they're showing me two males over and over, there is going to be a real good relationship and a long-term relationship with someone new. But until that happens, you're not going to see any changes in your love life area. And your love life area will affect other areas of your life, like your mentality, your emotions, your family life, your work life. It's going to all affect it. I am also seeing that when it comes to your finances, you've been working very hard for it, but you don't feel like you can, when you start, getting your paycheck, it's basically all going on bills. So you need to start thinking in the mindset of, maybe taking on a second part-time job, working, doing, opening maybe up a small business where you're making jewelry, selling it, something that you can do from your home, or, when you are not working at your regular job, that can produce some income. But you do have two decisions coming up within, I want to say within the month of February. You're going to have more clarity, and finances again are going to get a little bit better. Of course, this is, during the income tax season time. So any money that you have there, that don't spend it all. I think a lot of people, when they get their income tax, they've already spent it on several things, or if they don't, when they get it, their temptation is too great, and they're like, well, let me go ahead, I can do this and I can do that. But Spirit is advising you to really kind of just sit back and reconsider. You do feel like there's your family, like they don't accept you, or they've never really fully embraced you, who you are. The thing with that is that you need to realize that you can't change their minds. You can't be responsible for how they feel. There's a lot of toxicity in your family life, not with your kids or your immediate, I'm talking more about your immediate family, like, your cousins, your brothers, sisters, siblings, in general, just your family. I just get a lot of separateness, and you being isolated away from them, feeling like you can't go towards them. So this is something just to be very mindful of, but that is the tea from Spirit. So I want to thank Lucy for submitting that question. Thank you so much, hon, and I hope you have a great day. All right, let's get into question 2. All right, the next question is coming from Thunder. And Thunder says, hi, so I have this person I met online a few years ago. Throughout the years, we've gone through phases of talking and not talking, but we always come back to each other. But recently, I've been questioning whether or not this friendship is worth the pain, because it's long distance, and a part of me feels stupid for caring so much about someone I've only met online. I guess my question is, should I move on, or is there something more to this friendship, like a soul connection? Thank you. And this is coming from Thunder. And Thunder also says, love your videos, by the way. Thank you so much, Thunder, for submitting your question. It's a very good question. So I'll start off by saying that, there's a lot of people that meet online that do kick it off, and hit it off real well. And they meet, and sometimes these are like the fairy tale stories, where, they get together, they get married, they become a couple. I do feel like this is definitely a past life connection when I tune into this connection that you have with this person. So you are correct in saying that you wanted to know whether this was a soul connection, and it is. It's a twin flame connection, and I do feel like this person does care about you, and I feel like they are scared, and you are scared. I don't know if y'all haven't met. I'm getting that y'all haven't met physically, like in person. I feel like that would, kind of alleviate a lot of the doubt when you're financially able to. You need to have that conversation with them and see if they would be willing to meet you. If not, then you may need to just continue to be friends. I feel like in many ways that when it's a twin flame relationship, that this person has given you, and you've given them a lot of healing through this connection. And twin flames typically tend to do that. Just, chatting with them when you have a bad day, or if they ask you how your day was, you give them that kind of information. But I ultimately feel like destiny, this is divinely being orchestrated where you both need to meet. But there is, again, some factors of finances being, one of the reasons that you can't, and maybe with your work too. But Spirit is basically saying that this is divinely orchestrated, and the feelings are never going to go away. Even if you were to kind of shut them out and kind of like ignore this person, you're always going to think about them from here on out. They're always going to be in your heart. And only resisting and not meeting in this lifetime is only going to cause like a cycle of pain. There's a lot of people that have twin flames and they have karmic issues or major karma in twin flame relationships, and when they don't meet, it creates a cycle of pain, because both souls need to be united in some ways. Now, some situations, people that be listening to me, well, Raymond, sometimes, twin flames don't meet. That's true. It just depends on the circumstances. Every circumstance is different. But with you, I'm getting from my spirit guides that you really do need to meet this person. You're both in pain. I see a lot of deception, a lot of things that you're not communicating and being honest about with this person. And this person is not being honest with a lot of things that they're saying. So I feel like they may be in a relationship right now, and that kind of, in the back of your mind bothers you, the idea that they could be with someone else. It could be borderline jealousy, and that's normal. That's normal because, you have feelings for someone who you've shared many, many lifetimes before with. There's a lot of things being illuminated, a lot of things that are going to be coming out in the surface, to the surface, Spirit is saying. So within this next year, I feel like you're going to, have some deeper conversations, and this may get a little bit more intense. But you will need to take, use your free will to do this. I also feel like there has been, thoughts of moving towards them, either relocating. There's been some communication about this already, about meeting, but I'm getting that is very, very necessary here. Also getting that there is some issues about your finances that you are worried about, and you didn't ask this in the question, but Spirit is saying that you wanted to know. You've asked them, for signs that your finances are going to get better, and Spirit is basically showing me that they are. You are entering into a peace within the next 12 months of having a better outlook on your finances. Now, when I say that, your finances are getting better, I'm not saying that you're going to win the lottery, or you're going to come under some lucky financial windfall, but it does seem like you are going to have a little bit more breathing room to, have some money left over from every paycheck, kind of to be able to do certain things that you need to do. And again, there is some thoughts of traveling, very, very much so. So this year, I feel like you may actually get the courage to go and meet this person. It's very necessary. Like I said, when there's a major karma tied to this, the karmic is it almost feels like in a past life y'all had unrequited love, the both of you, and y'all, whatever circumstances, I feel like y'all were both with different couples, different people in a past life, but you still had met up and loved each other in that past life, but it was almost unrequited love in many ways. And so in this lifetime, it is repeating itself again, and you need to break that cycle. Otherwise, going into, leaving this life, the both of you, and never meeting, you're going to experience this again when you're reincarnated again. So these are the things that, we can address within our capability here. And again, it's going to only depend if they are willing to meet you too. If not, then you're both, are kind of stuck. Meeting on FaceTime or like through social media, it's not the same as in physical form. Spirit is referring to you meeting in physical form together. And having that deep conversation. So again, I feel like this is very much necessary. But if this person is being kept almost like a secret from other people in your life right now, and they don't know that this is going on, you need to clear a lot of that, because I do get a lot of secrets from the both of you, and there needs to be some open communication. That's going to clear your energy and your pathway, so that way you feel a lot better. I'm also getting something with your eyes, your vision. And again, I'm not able to diagnose. I'm not a doctor, but there may be some prescription changes or slight changes in your vision that you are needing to really address, because I'm getting headaches, and Spirit is telling me that the headaches that I'm getting when I'm tuning into your energy is coming from your eyesight. So there may be some changes, even subtle ones, that could be triggering some migraines. And sometimes when your vision changes, it can cause migraines. So just take a look into that and see, what's going on with that. But thank you so much again, Thunder, for submitting this question. All right, the next question, this is the third question for this week's episode, is coming from Half Pint. And Half Pint says, "Hi Raymond, I'm really conflicted because I haven't had my parents ever be there for me, and I'm going through a pretty big life change. I don't know if I should try to bring them into my life because they will be grandparents, or if I should just let this relationship go and continue not talking to them. I don't know what the right thing to do is anymore, or if their intentions are pure. People are telling me I should give my mom a chance, but I don't know if I can or want to do that. Thank you for taking the time out to read this." Well, Half Pint, thank you so much for submitting this question. This is so heartbreaking to know that you're going through this, because ultimately, I understand that, our parents are always there for us, and they do love us. And, people that would be listening to this, would probably give the advice that you just need to cut all cords and, don't even make the effort. But Spirit tends to, always come from a place of love. And the thing is that, when our, and I'm going to be very, like when I give this tea from Spirit, I'm always giving unfiltered, and I'm giving it to you without sugar coating. So this is coming from Spirit. The thing here to really realize, what Spirit wants you to realize, is that your parents are not going to always be here on earth. There's going to come a time when you're no longer going to be able to make those phone calls, to have those conversations. And regardless of what your parents did to you, that you hold this kind of a grudge. And I'm being very honest and truthful when I say this, because I can tune into souls. And I'm really feeling like, a piece of you holds a grudge. There's some pain there. There's some pain that's been caused by both parties, them and you. I feel like when you were a teenager growing up, there was some rebellion. There was things that you wanted to do that they may not have agreed on. They may have treated you a certain way, which is kind of like tough love. And they may have made their mistakes. But you are not one to judge your parents. And even though some people would be listening to this and say, Raymond, you're wrong. Parents are not always right. That may be the case, but you are not to judge your parents. And this is coming from Spirit, not from me. I'm just the messenger. This is the message that Spirit is giving. You're not to judge your parents. They have their mistakes and their errors, but no one is perfect in this life. No one can be the perfect parent. And even if they didn't hold up to the ideals that you would have liked them to hold up, you need to release that pain that you're carrying in that grudge, because all it's contributing to is creating a darker energy in yourself. You may not have to, forget what they did to you or what you've done to them or any of this, but at the end of the day, one of these days when they're no longer here on the physical world, you're going to regret it, and you're going to live with that regret. So Spirit is wanting you, they know your soul, they know that you're a good soul, a good person. They want you to make amends now. So yes, I do agree with that advice that, that you should make an attempt to get closer to your mom. You definitely need to. I know it's not going to be easy and you may be, very prideful of it, but you need to make amends and have that conversation. A lot of times we create these fears or these scenarios in our head that, if we, talk to our parents, or, we have, with any family members that have hurt us, that, the outcome is going to be they're going to laugh in our face, or they're going to we think, we know exactly what they're going to do, and it can always be the opposite. And you will never know, and you'll continue to beat yourself up if you continue to go down this trajectory of just shutting your mom out from your life. At this point that you're going through changes, your soul very much feels like it needs comfort. It needs your mother. And even though she may have not been nurturing in that capacity, or showed you love, or even told you that she was very proud of you, again, we're not to judge our parents for their mistakes, even if they were horrible mistakes that they made. They will be held accountable. And I feel like in many ways your mom has been held accountable, and your dad too. This could be, things that they don't discuss with you openly, and that since you're not living there with them, or you're not there with them, you may not be aware of it. But mentally and physically and emotionally, I feel like there's many, mistakes that they made and that they regret on a deeper level. But you need to, their spirit is showing me you having a happy life, but you do need, you're juggling these two decisions, whether you need to go, and suck up your pride and basically go and have that conversation with them, or whether or not you should continue to isolate them from your life. Again, Spirit tends to think that down the road, when there would be no longer here, that you would have a lot of this regret and burden that would haunt you for the rest of your life. So, if you make this attempt and they were to, reject you or whatnot, it doesn't matter anymore, because then after that, you don't have to make any more attempts. You've made your attempt, your last final attempt. You've really tried to help them, and you really, leave it on a positive note that you're always there, if they want to be a part of your life. But at least you've done your part, and you can't change how your parents are going to react to it. If they, disown you, or they just don't want to have anything to do with you, they don't agree, with who, you were dating, or, choices that you made, that, that's up to them. But I am seeing change, eventually, from all of this. There is change, and, I do feel like your mom has experienced a lot of heartache around her love life. So there's a lot of pain around her heart, and it feels like she's been um, betrayed in many ways and hurt very deeply by all of this. So I do feel and do honestly think that she, she's not a bad person. And it may seem like, she is to you at certain times, but I do feel like, you may have felt like she's chosen someone else over you, or chose to show affection to someone else over you. Or you show favoritism to someone else in the family other than you. That's how it comes across. But it does feel like she, had to decide between you and someone else, whether this was a partner or someone else. But there's just a lot of pain here. But there is progression and movement in this area. And again, there is going to be happiness in your family. I do see eventually, like, you being happy with your couple, with your partner, and I'm seeing children. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of changes that are positive here. But it's just the point of you, having that conversation with them. So I want to thank you so much for submitting that question. It was a great, great, great question. All right, our next question, our fourth question, is coming from Calm Love. And Calm Love says, "Hi Raymond, I have been through a multitude of what seems to be karmic relationship after karmic relationship. I'm trying to keep the faith and still believe in love in hopes of one day having a loving, healthy, balanced union, first being with myself and then another. I am in the process of divorce to someone I should have never married, but I know this was a lesson for me to evolve and grow. It was short-lived and karmic. I'm wondering if I will attract a loving partnership, long-term committed, stable, and healthy, and when. I'm looking forward to your response for this, or any messages Spirit has for me at this time. Thank you. Love your show and channel. We'll definitely be purchasing your books soon also. Thank you for your presence on earth at this time. Most high bliss. So thank you so much, Calm Love, for your for your question. There seems to be a lot of confusion around this guy that you are divorcing. What Spirit is showing me is that there's someone else that is coming into your life that is ready, but you're not ready to enter another relationship. You need a lot of healing from this, but there's the way that Spirit is showing me this is coming through is that this relationship that you were in, this divorce, this whole relationship prior to the divorce, was a very dark relationship. I feel like there was a lot of lust. There was a physical attraction at the beginning of the relationship, but I'm being shown there was a lot of control factors from this male. Very much Capricorn energy coming through. And when I say Capricorn, meaning like the sign of Capricorn, there was a lot of control. This person loved working. I get that they were very much about their money, ambition, the looks, the appearances, very flirtatious with people. It's all a facade. This gentleman was putting on a big facade in many ways, and a trickster is the word that comes to mind. Trickster. I do feel like you felt very compelled or bound to this person, and you really don't even know why. There was magic done at some level, which I know may sound kind of like way out there. There was some kind of spell done for this man to be enchanted. How he did it, he may have gone to somebody, or he may have been into, experimenting with magic. But this guy has a lot of darker energy, a lot of demons, not like real demons, but inner demons that he is battling, addictions of many sorts. Again, yeah, this is a very, very toxic thing. You really do need to cleanse your aura. So I'm going to make some suggestions for you. This is going to be part 1. So the first thing that you need to do is to cleanse your space, your living space. Get rid of anything that this man may have given to you. If you have a wedding ring, the engagement ring still, don't take it off of your finger. Put it in a box with salt, sea salt. In your living space, you need to get some white sage, burn that all around. Clean all of your sheets, dust everything down, get rid of any clothing articles, things that you have of his still. Get rid of that, because the longer that you have that energy still, that item in your household, it's creating an energetic pattern that is going to continue to contribute to these thoughts of this man, what he's doing. You won't be able to get a good night's sleep. And it is affecting your health to some point, to some degree as well, because I'm getting around my spine a lot of tension, a lot of back pain. So I'm getting that with this person. I'm also getting a lot of anxiety, feelings like around my throat area, restricted. So I feel like at certain points you feel like you can't communicate, or you have trouble expressing what you feel openly to other people. So there's a lot of things here that need to be done. When you're done with that, I would recommend seeking out a Reiki specialist, a Reiki master, to do some Reiki on you, focusing on all of your chakras, all of the meridians, energetic meridians in your body. These are all the chakras, but mainly on the heart chakra, there is that one that you need to fix, and then also with your root chakra, that definitely needs to be balanced here to open you up and get you ready for new love. You also need to start praying to Archangel Michael. I know that everybody comes from a different belief system. I'm not a religious person, but spiritual, but I do believe in the archangels. So you need to kind of recite the Archangel Michael prayer every night. For a month at least, and then from there, whenever you feel like you need to, but definitely need to do that. And then what I'm seeing for you is that this male that you're divorcing, he's not going to leave you very easily. I feel like he's very nasty in the way that he treats you and verbally talks to you. So he's going to be fighting you still after the divorce. I feel like there's going to be encounters that you're still going to have, and I'm just being very honest here with this. So you're going to have to really, have like a thick skin when dealing with this person. He's a very negative energy, and so it can easily bring your energy level down when you're talking to him, or after interacting with him, or even seeing him. It's like he repulses you in many ways, but there's still a part of you that still thinks about the good times. But Spirit is showing me that there is a finality to all of this, and you're just going to have to be very patient here. How soon? They're showing me within a year. Things tend to kind of like even out, balance out. Then there's another male that is coming in. So within 2 years from now or less, timelines again can change due to our free will, but I'm showing within 2 years or less that there is a new male, but it seems like this is going to be less than a year. And again, you have to ask yourself whether or not you're going to be ready. What Spirit is showing me is that you will be ready to receive a new love. This doesn't mean that you're going to get into a relationship and fall head over heels and get engaged and married, again, like immediately. No. I do feel like this guy is a water energy, so a water sign. So this could be Pisces, Scorpio, no, Pisces, Aquarius, or no, that's the air signs. Uh, Pisces, Scorpio, yeah, it's Scorpio, Pisces, Scorpio, or I can't remember the other, Cancer, Cancerian. So it's one of those three signs. If he feels very much like a water sign, and I feel like it's going to be someone that complements you. He's good in communication. He is someone who is not fearful, and he has traveled the world a lot. I get a lot of traveling and used to the finer things in life. So he's kind of eccentric in some ways, but he is very protective about his money, but at the same time he's willing to give to the right person. And I feel like in many ways he's been backstabbed before, so it's kind of like open him up to being aware of everything that's going on, and I feel like it's a good compliment for you. So yes, you're going to get through this divorce. You're going to be absolutely fine. I do feel like you are going to eventually meet someone else that is going to love you and treat you in a very good way. But as far as marriage, I'm not seeing marriage again. I feel like there is a part of you that may not want to be married again, and there will be some time. But you just need to be open to it. You need to understand not every guy out there is going to treat you the same way or be the same type of energy. So, but that is what Spirit is showing me here. So you just need to just be aware that your ex is going to continue to fight you, that he's not going to change. That's just who he is and how he is. And I feel like once he sees you move on with someone else, that eventually he may try to fight that relationship too and create drama in your life. It may not sound like him now, but that's what Spirit is showing me, and I have to be very honest when I'm delivering this message to you. So just be aware of that. But thank you so much for submitting that question. All right, our last question is coming from Karina. And Karina says, "Hi Raymond, I love your videos and shows. Thank you so much. My question is, my husband and I recently moved to an area I've long wanted to live in. We lived in our former city for 30 years. It was so much work moving. We've been in our new home now for about 5 months. Do you see this being a good move for both of us in the long run? Thank you. Thanks, Raymond." And this is coming from Karina. So, Karina, yes, I actually do feel like this is definitely going to be a good move for you. I do feel like, moving took a lot of energy out of you both, and almost feeling like defeated. And it's like Spirit is telling me that it almost was like almost coming through like you didn't want to even move. Like at the last minute, there was like cold feet that you would have both had, like kind of like when people are going to get married and they may have cold feet at the end. So I'm just getting there was a lot of resistance from your husband, possibly that he didn't want to move. But I do feel like you were the guiding force and you were being divinely guided. So this was divinely orchestrated, dear, in many ways. And it is a good move for the both of you. But they are showing me that you did feel a lot of fear. There was a lot of fear between the both of you, about moving, and a lot of focus on your finances, whether you would be financially okay or stable. And so what Spirit is telling me is that, and showing me, is that y'all are both going to be okay. Yes, within March of 2019, I feel like there's a celebration coming up around that time. Good news, maybe, having a celebration with some people that you've met now, new friends, or people in your atmosphere. This could also be talking about work. Spirit could be talking about your work life and your finances in that area. But I do see a lot of good things coming up with your finances and whatnot. with your husband, there does need to be some level of awareness and caution. I feel like he is too trusting sometimes of individuals. But Spirit is showing me that, and again, this is me being very honest and giving you exactly, not sugarcoating what I see. There is a certain level of someone betraying or backstabbing him. This could be like, asking them to borrow, someone asking him to borrow some money, and he gives them the money, or an item, and they don't return the money or they don't pay him back. So just needs to be very mindful and trust his intuition and gut. If he doesn't feel like this person is very much worthy of their word, or able to keep their word, and he feels that in his gut instinct, he needs to trust that. But is right now what Spirit is showing me is that this is all a balancing act for the both of you. Even though you've been there 5 months already, it's still balancing, and it's not something that you will feel necessarily settled in immediately within a couple of weeks or months. It does take at least within the first 2 years. I feel like you would feel a lot more secure in that area, but I feel like generally where you move to is a good. There's a lot of nature. I'm being shown a lot of nature, a lot of fresh air. There is, it's a better neighborhood. I feel like the neighbors are much, much better energy around you. And I feel like there's a lot of activities and things that you can go to and do. A lot of socializing. I don't know. I keep being shown like hills and mountains. So I don't know if the terrain goes up where you are living in, but it feels almost like an elevated surface where you would be close to. And I'm being shown like natural springs, and rivers and stuff like that. It's not that far away from where you are. And like a trail, a hiking trail or a biking trail, there's a trail that goes into kind of like a wooded area. So I'm seeing a lot of things and activities, a lot of natural wildlife, it's basically a good, clean area. I'm getting good, clean energy, very positive around this area, a very spiritual area as well. I feel like people are more elevated in their consciousness. So overall, this was definitely a good area for you to be moving to. So you do get the the check mark from Spirit, and that is the T from Spirit for you. So I want to thank you for submitting that question. I want to thank all of my listeners for listening to this week's episode of Tea with Spirit show. If you did enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up. For those of you that did receive a reading and you may want to get more information, you can always set up a private reading with me. You can go to my website. That's again listed here. It's www.raymondguzman.net/shop. And when you're there, you can see all of my readings that I offer. You can also, for those of you that are listening in, I do offer now a 12-month insight or reading, and you can get, take advantage of that if you want. Also, I do past life readings that can help give you a little bit more insight into the karmic lessons and who you were in a past life. And I also am offering emergency readings for those of you that may need readings. Typically my turnaround time is within 3 to 5 to 7 business days for most psychic readings. But if you do need a reading within 24 to 48 hours, that is an emergency reading. And I am offering those now because I do realize that there was a demand for a lot of clients that needed a reading ASAP, immediately. So just basically check that out. Also, my new book is called Starseed Footsteps. I have sold out twice on Amazon. So if you want an autographed copy, you can order directly from my shop. If you would like just to get the regular copy, you can go on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com and purchase that as well. And again, also check out all of my other episodes and check out your horoscopes for the month of November. They are out now. So blessings and love and light. Until next week.